Hi, I'm Rishi Gwynn, a junior at Bolton Science Academy in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is my thesis defense on the relationship between HIV incidence and education. Okay. So my topic is on the relationship between HIV incidence and education in sub-Saharan Africa. And my question is, how can being educated on HIV change the incidence of it in sub-Saharan Africa? So, HIV is a smart disease. It attacks the immune system, making it a smart virus, because if our immune system is down, we can't fight the infection. So, we should, so currently it's incurable, but it is preventable. So, we should attempt to find the best method of prevention. So, for my literature review, first I looked at HIV incidence. From 2000 to 2018, to 70% of all districts saw a reduction in prevalence greater than 5 percentage points, and prevalence in sub-Saharan Africa as a whole declined over the same period from 5% in 2000 to 4% in 2017. So this shows that there has been a significant decrease in HIV incidence in sub-Saharan Africa. Then I looked at HIV education. So having comprehensive HIV knowledge was 1.36 times higher among adolescent girls who received sexual and reproductive health education compared to those who did not. So, HIV stigma used to be a big problem. There was a public denial of HIV, which means they just didn't want to believe it existed and kind of ignored any warning signs they heard of it. So that stigma has decreased because more people are more knowledgeable about this. So there was a study that had 3 intervention groups, which kind of like they kind of just started educating groups of people. And 2 of these intervention groups reported a lower proportion of new cases in the intervention group compared to the control group. So that shows that education did have an effect on the incidence of HIV. So for my methodology, I looked at I found articles on HIV incidence and prevalence and compared them with studies on HIV education or sexual and reproductive health intervention groups. So the results were that with increased knowledge of HIV, the stigma around it decreases. And so people are more willing to listen to the risks and causes, which will in turn lead to them taking precautions. So the significance of this is that, like now that we know that education has a significant effect on HIV incidence, it can lead to policies that mandate sexual and reproductive health education for public safety because we see that those who get this education will more likely learn about HIV. Okay. So to restate my question, how can education on HIV change the incidence of it in sub-Saharan Africa? We can see that they're deeply connected, that education, that the change, like increase of education does decrease, like people are more aware of what's going on and it'll decrease the amount, the incidence of HIV. So this research brings to light the effects of having knowledge, the effect of having knowledge about HIV has on the incidence and prevalence. And since there's no cure for HIV, this is an effective method of prevention. Like, because learning about it will make them like want to, it will make them aware of what's going on and why they should take into consider, like they should consider taking these preventive strategies. So since we looked at sub-Saharan Africa as a whole rather than individual districts, there might have been a difference in results like within each district, meaning education can have different effects based on the location. But I think this can be a question for a future research project to see what the difference is between these districts and how we can look at each district differently and help each district. So I would like to thank Gifted Gabber for this like amazing research opportunity. I had so much fun doing this, and I would like to thank Dr. Kate for her guidance, for teaching me so much. I learned I learned a lot about HIV. It's how like its risks, and it's a really interesting virus. And I would like to thank her for helping me narrow my topic and like helping me out for where to start and stuff. And it was really helpful. And I would like to thank Professor Virgil because he gave us his time. He showed us how to start. Like he helped me get my feet wet in research, and um like he helped so much with the structure, and he was always there if you had any questions and or needed help finding your sources. It was really helpful. And for the my favorite part was definitely finding the articles and reading about this and seeing how like this problem can be solved. Thank you.
Amazing. A question for Arushi, Dr. Kate.
Yes. Um, we've talked about this a lot. Education is key in curing or preventing many, many diseases, as we know. So we think, would you say, with all of the reading that you've done and looking at all of the data, because you looked at a lot of data too, would you say that like sub-Saharan Africa, have they kind of reached their peak of cases now, and hopefully our new cases are coming down so they don't have as many infections, HIV infections, that they're getting closer to maybe what the worldwide infection data shows?
I do believe that I think most districts have reached their peak because for most districts in the past 20 years, the cases have only been decreasing and by significant amounts as well. Only in like a couple of districts that it's still increasing, but I would say sub-Saharan Africa as a whole has reached its peak.
Very good.
A big round of applause for, you can stop sharing. Arushi just takes over the screen. A great job, Arushi. A very, very good topic. And the depth at which you've gone in, it just shows, I'm pretty sure this research was not a walk in the park, right? It pushed your limits. And that's when transformation happens. Inventions happen when you're in pain. Edison didn't just build the light bulb overnight. He cried, he failed. There were like so many disappointments, right? Our whole job is not a job, it's a side thing, is to make you guys feel like you're Alice in Wonderland, right? That's when you get to flex the muscle called as the brain, right? So thank you so much, Arushi. Wonderful presentation. 2 questions for Arushi.